Hi, I'm Judith Kingsbury from SavvyVegetarian.com. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make a super quick and easy version of a recipe called crockpot quinoa red lentil stew. I'm going to make it on the stovetop with the red lentil and the quinoa already cooked. That makes it go super fast. In this I'm going to put celery, carrot, sweet potato, and some frozen green beans, a little cilantro and lime, and a bunch of spices. Here's sweet potato. More or less you have to wrestle these into submission. Keep your fingers out of the way and keep a firm grip on the potato. And chop them into bite-sized pieces. And the celery, trim the ends, chop it in thin slices. And a carrot. I'm going to slice this in half, lengthwise, and then cut it in thin slices. That way it cooks quickly. Well, you can use a lot of different veggies in here. Cauliflower and zucchini are a nice combination. I've got my pan heating up. Add a little bit of olive oil. Put my veggies in. Crank it up a little bit. I'm just going to saute these until they're heated through. I'm doing this in my 4-quart pressure cooker. The secret to really fast soups is get yourself a pressure cooker, saute your veggies, and then pressure cook them for 3 or 4 minutes. And then you can add all your other ingredients, just heat them up, and you've got soup. Otherwise, it's 20 minutes cooking the veggies. Okay, a little bay leaf. I don't have any ginger, so I'm going to use a few cardamom pods and half a cinnamon stick, coriander, fennel, a small amount of cumin, a little turmeric. So I'm just frying the spices a little bit, heating them, releases the flavors. Add a little soup stock, just maybe half a cup is enough. So you have about 1/4 inch of water on the bottom of the pan. Crank it up, lock down the lid. Wait for the pressure to come up high. Turn it down to simmer and set the timer for 3 minutes. So there we go. Now, here's the magic. And run cold water on it, and it brings the pressure down instantly. Not completely cooked, but mostly cooked. Once I put the green beans in, I can bring the pressure back up for 1 minute. I'm going to throw in my red lentils. And this makes enough soup for a couple of meals for 2 people, along with a sandwich or a salad. Quinoa softens as it cooks, makes it really creamy. Okay, let's crank it up a little bit, get that hot. A little thyme in this is nice, maybe a half a teaspoon. I just need to bring this all to a boil. Add a little pepper. Since I cook my quinoa without salt, the red lentils aren't salty. I usually put a fair amount of salt in. Now, you don't need to use a pressure cooker to make a soup like this. And you can add anything else you want, any kind of cooked beans, cooked barley, pasta, any kind of spices that you like. It's just this method. If you have a cooked grain or pasta and some cooked beans, you can make a soup real quick. Even if you have to cook it on the stove and it takes 20 minutes, it's still pretty quick. And then you make enough to have for a couple of meals. I think it needs a little more salt. You can cook this for 5 or 10 minutes. The quinoa will thicken up the soup. Now, if you like leafy greens like kale or chard or spinach, this would be the time to add them. Just chop them and throw them in there. They'll cook in a minute or 2. But I'm just going to throw in a little cilantro. Cilantro and parsley are my kind of go-to green leafy veggies in the winter because they're packed with vitamins and flavor, and they're cheap. Thank you for joining me to make quinoa red lentil stew. Whether you make it in the crock pot or on the stovetop, however you do it, it's a really delicious, satisfying meal that we eat often. Love quinoa, love red lentils, love sweet potatoes. It's just full of love. So enjoy, be well, keep warm, and I will see you next time.